Hello and welcome to Horror Legend with your hosts,
Legend
and Chris. Oh my god, did you hear that?
Hear what?
It's the sound of someone having a staged house, a shitty camera, and a dream.
Not a dream.
This week, we watched Paranormal Activity.
Yes, the instant classic known
The
as
OG.
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Came out in 2007. God, that just feels so long ago. It's almost 20 years ago.
Does it? It doesn't feel very long ago to me.
A couple of years, it'll be 20 years ago. That's insane.
Wow.
It was directed by, loosely directed by, I guess, Oren Pelly.
He put the camera there.
Yeah, he put the camera. Oren Pelly. Starring Katie Featherston, Mika Sloat, Mark Friedrichs. I think Mark changed his name, but Katie and Mika just kept their actual names in the thing, probably to seem a little more realistic.
Sure.
These are credits I had to look up because they don't give you credits in this movie because they want to make it seem like it's actual found footage.
Yeah.
Trying to go the route of Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
But you can't really beat the OG on that.
No.
At least not on marketing terms.
Yeah, that's true on marketing terms. No, you can't. Do I like the Blair Witch Project? No.
Is that realistic? No.
No. So obviously the synopsis of this movie is people are having some paranormal activity in their home and they're trying to catch it on camera.
Yeah. Couple moving into a suburban home, young couple moving into a suburban home and experiencing the paranormal activity that has followed.
She has a demon X.
The woman around.
Yes.
Yes.
It follows her around.
And he, being Scott Pilgrim, must defeat this evil demon X.
Yeah.
To be with her.
There's only one in this case.
I know.
Before we start, I would like to retract my statement from the last episode, wherein I said that Nosferatu was speaking Latin. It is not Latin.
Oh.
It just sounds quite a bit like Latin. It's probably Latin-based, okay? And
either way, it's a dead language.
It was actually a dead language called Dacian that was put together by the director. Well, not himself, but, he had someone kind of put together this dead language in order to use it for the movie.
Which is really cool, actually.
Oh, no, I think that's amazing. I think it's even cooler.
Because
it being Latin,
it just felt like a real language.
It did. It was.
Yeah.
It was.
It was.
So, anyway, Paranormal Activity. The scariest thing about this movie, I think, was the decor in the home.
Oh my god, it is the most generic-looking suburban home
It was
I've
a staged
ever seen.
home.
Oh no, I mean, yeah.
It just
looked staged.
It looked not lived in.
And I'm just like, you
well,
could have
mind you, it is a new house that they're moving into. But
it's like they're moving into it and stuff. But even the moving in, it's like you can't have like boxes of things.
No, everything's
just
put everywhere already.
Everything's put everywhere, including the guest bedrooms. You couldn't have like stacks of boxes in there, like you were waiting for it to do it because nobody's staying at their house.
So yeah, I feel like they just it was the director's friend's house or something, or maybe his house. Something. I don't know, because there were spare rooms that were fully decorated. There was like stuffed animals and like kid things in one of them, and I'm like, they don't have kids, so why?
It was really.
What is this?
Like, I understand if maybe like the stuffed animals, like, oh, it's one I had as a child.
Well, yeah,
but it didn't really seem that way.
It didn't seem right.
And it's like if they just moved in, maybe have boxes, places to look like it's getting done, or make it look a little more lived in.
Yeah,
this literally looked like somebody staged it to be a model home, but very shittily.
Yeah,
and like you bought pictures from fucking Target and Pier 1 Imports.
Yeah.
Just threw them on the walls with these fancy ornate sconces.
Yeah.
Fancy is a very loosely used term.
I'm still really trying to understand the two guest rooms for this couple that lives alone.
3-bedroom house.
There's a 3-bedroom house. There's like guest rooms.
3-bedroom house, mind you,
rooms.
in San Diego for a student and a day trader.
Yeah. Even in 2007, you could not.
Yeah, when? When is that gonna be a thing? What is it that all those like house hunter shows where it's like, my husband is a worm farmer and I'm at a retired ass. Our budget's $600 million. I'm going to school for anthropology, and my husband's a stay-at-home husband. Our budget's $800 million.
I mean, this whole movie is either him holding the camera or setting it down somewhere, putting it on a tripod, etc., etc.
Now, I have seen good working straight couples, but it's movies like this where I'm like, are straight couples okay?
I just wrote, are the straights okay? That was like my first question. I was like, oh, this is what they do. This is a life in the day of a day in the life of straight people.
Granted,
I guess. Okay.
Granted, she was way more practical in the movie, way more pragmatic in the movie, way more like smart.
Yeah, smarter. This movie is a full treatise on listening to women.
Yeah.
As well.
I love the don't let any negative energy into the house. And he's like, can't have your mother over anymore. I'm like, okay, mother-in-law joke already out the gate.
Bad.
And then he acts like so excited about this whole thing with the camera and catching something, but then she's like describing it and not wanting to do not wanting to provoke or do this thing, and he's just like blowing it off like it actually isn't happening, that she's just making it up, and it's just like, well, one or the other.
Yeah.
So really, you're just in it for the content, not to actually help your girlfriend.
But yeah, that's really what it feels like.
Because they're engaged to be engaged.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
And he's just he's totally rude to the doctor that comes over for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
He was trying to
psychic.
Help.
Yeah.
He's the psychic doctor guy is actually trying to just give her tools and information, and he's just being a total dick about it.
I don't understand. If only I could have the extreme confidence of a straight white man.
I feel like I'd get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
you'd probably get it done badly too, because you just think you can do whatever. You just can do anything.
You just think you're doing it right because of the
doesn't even cross your mind that you can't.
Yeah.
I was driving the epitome of this. I was driving to work the other day.
Oh no.
And it was fairly early in the morning, not much traffic, but there was an old white man on a bicycle. And this street, mind you, has a giant bike lane that is like separate from the road even. It has a separate, bike lane all the way down it. Okay. He was riding his bike in the middle of the car lane.
Oh my God.
And wouldn't get out of the way. It was amazing. And my headlights were on. It was early morning. And just...
You should have just kept flashing.
Absolutely oblivious. The world belongs to him. Old white men on bikes are the worst.
I can't handle it. Well, and the thing is they've got nothing better to do.
No, nothing better to do.
I think I told you earlier about it's I'm living out in Buckeye right now with my grandparents, but the HOA in their community's no parking cars overnight. And then I hear them talking about it because they're going to do some town hall about it. Yeah. And they're like, what's next? People are going to park their cars in their yards? And I'm like, do you old white people have nothing better to do?
Nothing better to do.
So now I got to go back and forth in the driveway to get my grandma's car out just because you guys can't handle one car being on the street.
It's
just give me a card that says I live here.
It's like
Jesus.
It's like the bewitched neighbor, just with the binoculars, just staring at what everyone's doing.
Nothing better to do.
People actually do that, and it's just anyway. Why do these found footage movies? They always look so composed, like this one especially. It didn't look spontaneous or real. It looked very composed.
No, but they try to set it up like it's spontaneous.
Yeah, but it just doesn't.
It never does feel that way.
The more that they try to do
that,
the less it feels like that.
Well, because even her, who I thought did a good job in the movie, it's there's certain lines or certain things you say or just certain ways you act where it's it sounds like you're reading from a script.
Yeah.
Just be natural. If anything, get people that are good at improv, give them an outline, and just let them roll with it. Because it probably sounded way more natural if you did that.
Yeah.
Because improv doesn't need to be comedy.
Yeah. Because the demon, it'll be like, I'm going to kill you. And you'll be like, yes, and?
Not the yes, and.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. I'm going to pull your leg. Yes, and.
Is this an airport? Are we at an airport?
Are we at an airport?
I mean, we're at an airport bar.
Okay. Demon, can I get a location? Can I get a location? Starbucks? Thank you.
I didn't know that this was like... I didn't know that he was documenting because of her supernatural or paranormal experience at first. So I was like, why is he filming like this? Why is he filming them sleep? What is going on here? And
well, yeah, because like,
oh, okay.
In the beginning, they have the camera. She like mentions like, oh, now you're gonna do this for this thing, and they're like kind of mentioning it in hints of like, you know, things are happening and whatever. Yeah. But then it'll like outright say like, because this happened during my childhood and it's following me around. Yeah. And they, like, obviously, if you find that out more and more and more, and then they just kind of like outright come out with it. But yeah, I mean, it's because they tried really hard to make it seem like a really just like, we just went right into these people's lives right at this moment. And then, like, sure, like, that's a good way to open it. Mm-hmm. If it didn't sound like people were reading from a script.
Yeah, it really did at first, too. I think it was not a strong beginning for me.
I feel like it's hard sometimes for people whenever they're doing, like, real stuff, because, like, when you're in front of a camera, I feel like you naturally change for a second. Without thinking about it. Yeah. And when you're doing, like, things like this that are supposed to seem realistic, I think it gets worse. Uh-huh. When you're acting in an actual movie and you're playing a character, you can kind of forget that the crew and the cameras are there. Yeah. And they usually help you to do that. In this, it's like the camera's always present. The camera's there. Yeah. You're setting the camera up so that it specifically sees certain things still. Yeah. So it's kind of just, I feel like it's hard to get out of that mode.
On that random note, my favorite thing is when even if it's a joke in something, when people look at the camera, like in a like a background actor looking at the camera, like it's always really funny to me. I love it. I think I was watching something like that was, and it wasn't meant to be a joke. It was like it just happened in it, and I thought it was hilarious.
The fourth wall break.
I love it. I love it. Extra staring at the camera is just hilarious to me. My also favorite thing. Yes.
My other favorite
is when people throw a bunch of animal print things together in their house.
Oh my god, that rug was hideous.
So hideous. That leopard print rug.
Listen.
When the Ouija board caught on fire, I'm like, can you just catch the rug on fire too? Just get rid of it.
Like, as a demon, you might actually have good taste. Can you just take care of the rug?
I feel like demons have good taste.
Right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they're usually very, they're usually like portrayed as really, elegant and
and you've seen hell. Like, it's better than that house.
Yeah.
It's like, I've seen some cool leopard print stuff, but that rug was not it.
That was not it. That was sad. Sad.
Just the furniture and stuff. I mean, it was very, very, like, mid-2000s.
Yeah, that's true.
Suburban home, mid-2000s.
That's true.
With, like, the fake art on the walls from World Market.
Yeah.
So at least, I guess it makes sense because they're a young couple, too, that they wouldn't have that much stuff, especially if they just moved into a house.
That's true.
But still.
That's true.
You had enough to fill 2 guest bedrooms.
That's true. I feel like movies like this are really good, budget savers, for sure.
Oh, this movie was made for...
It's made on nothing.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was actually in the millions or if it did only get made for, like hundreds of thousands instead
I hope they didn't spend millions on this, because I would be...
I think it might have just been like...
It got ripped off. I think
it might have just been like hundreds of thousands and not like a million. I
should
look that up.
Yeah, you should definitely look that up, because if they spent millions on this, then they were robbed by somebody. I don't know. I will say, like, God, I was so bored at first. I was like, what is this? This is so fucking boring.
The original Paranormal Activity had a budget of only $15,000.
15,000.
Yeah, but it made a profit of almost $200 million.
Damn.
Because people love to go see these horror movies because people just like to get scared, and it relies on jump scares. Yeah. That's the only other problem with these movies I have is like a lot of found footage movies, especially this one. There's some that don't, but especially this one relies on jump scares.
Yeah.
Loud bangs, doors closing.
Yeah.
Loud noises. You're not like hearing voices. You're not like seeing things. I mean, it does play with the darkness in the hallway a lot.
Yeah.
Because it kind of seems like you can see shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for only a budget of $15,000, a pretty good job.
That's actually quite surprising. Yeah. That's awesome.
And you made that much of a profit off of it.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they kept making them after this one.
I guess. Although, honestly, if I were them, like, I feel as though with the amount of, like, the cast that was there, and, like, probably the crew wasn't that large.
No, especially if you already have an actor holding the camera.
If you made that much money off of it, I would just call it a day.
Right?
You could probably live on that for the rest of your life.
Which I think is why the actor who plays Mika, when you go to his like IMDb, he really
That's the
was
only
just
thing
in
he did.
Paranormal Activity movies.
I mean, that's what I would do. If I got like a percentage, you know, of that. Like,
unless you really wanted to keep doing acting, you could probably live at least for a while off of the profits of this one.
Maybe I'll do community theater occasionally or something.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me from Paranormal. You remember me, right?
You remember me from Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
Your boyfriend got you this cameo. Demons.
I don't believe in demons, but
I believe there can be some, like, you say mischievous, or like maybe somebody died in anger and they're like a little upset kind of situation, and they like to mess with people because of that. But I don't believe in like I don't know if I believe in like malevolent, like I'm trying to kill you.
Well, I do believe in malevolent spirits. Malevolent
spirits, yes.
Entities.
Spirits and entities, just not demons.
Like non-human entities.
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
I can get behind that. I believe in that. But I guess that's what demons are, though. I guess it's just by another name. It's not like, fae folk or anything. It's a demon. So I guess it's Christianized fairies. Pretty much. Okay.
It's one of those, like, you like the mythology of Catholic demons or whatever, but I don't know if they are actually like a thing.
I think demons are something that they Christianized.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because it's pretty much just like
because like evil spirits, or at least quote unquote evil spirits, like that whole like situation, and good spirits has been around since like the dawn of time when it comes to like other people's beliefs, religions, whatever. So eventually everything just does get Christianized because that's what Christians do. But everything gets taken over by that. But everybody's got good gods, bad gods, evil spirits, good spirits.
Yeah.
In whatever culture you're in.
For sure. For sure.
And a lot of them are actually even more interesting than Christian demons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think this movie kind of shows how easily that paranormal evidence can be faked too.
Oh my god. It's really not that hard.
Because they barely had a budget.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I've been watching like some really bad like ghost shows lately, and they'll show like their actual evidence from people, and it's like quite obviously someone pulling the door shut with a string or like things like that. It's just so stupid.
I just I just remember watching all those ghost shows like Ghost Hunters and stuff when I was a kid, and like I remember when those shows first started, you could tell it was a little more legitimate. They didn't have a budget.
Yeah.
They were kind of just like actually investigating things. And even those shows, it was like, when they say investigation, they really mean like, oh, this happened, we heard this noise. Let's try to figure out if we can recreate it.
Yeah.
If we can't recreate it, we're not going to say like, oh, your house is haunted. We're just say like, we can't explain it. Which is how paranormal investigation is supposed to be.
It should be like that.
But then like towards whenever Ghost Hunters got more popular and they started getting more of a budget and paid more, you could tell it was like, you guys are just faking this now.
I think
and over exaggerating something tiny that's really that could be recreated.
I feel like there is a what is the word, like a push, I guess, for more realistic paranormal hunting shows now. Because there's like Ryan and Shane did like BuzzFeed Unsolved and
see, and with them
Ghost Files now, and
with BuzzFeed and with their thing now, those two I never felt like would ever try to just like create something to be...
No, because half the time they didn't get anything.
No, yeah, because like when you're going in, most of the time you're not getting, because it's not going to happen every time.
No.
And it's like, obviously you got Shane and they're like antagonizing everything. If it's not happening, then it's just not happening.
It's just as entertaining too, if not more so.
It's still creepy.
People who, it's still creepy. Yeah. It's still entertaining. I think it's more entertaining than people going, "What was that? Did you hear that?"
Yeah. Well, it's even like Living for the Dead. They were kind of just talking on their own, and they were
so good too.
Using it to help people too with their other skills that they had.
That's what I did is kind of using it to help people through the psychological effects of things, which I thought was very
Which, if Disney or Hulu is listening to this, maybe bring it back, because people actually loved it.
They're not listening.
They're not listening. They don't care what I have to say.
I can actually probably identify the people who are listening.
I just remember, let me see. Oh.
Go ahead, Legend. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm leaving. Who in their right mind, knowing that your girlfriend is going through this type of situation, keeps her sleeping next to the door that's open? And not just switching sides with her so that she can have a barrier between her and the door?
Yeah. I mean, he was kind of just an asshole in general.
He was just in it for the content. He was totally just in it for the content. And I was just like, you're literally making her sleep next to this open door.
Yep.
That you guys are just keeping open. First of all, close it.
Yeah.
Turn all the lights on downstairs and just close the door. And don't make her sleep next to it.
Yeah.
Obviously it's giving her nightmares and you can hear footsteps and shit. So, why would you not make yourself a barrier between that if you're trying to be, an actually good boyfriend?
Yeah. I was... I'll get into it more later, but I was just amazed at what an asshole this guy was.
Cute but dumb.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that what did he say? Oh, he said that why didn't you tell me this at the beginning or whatever? And she's like, what am I supposed to tell you at the first date or whatever? And then I was just thinking about her Tinder profile. It says
no.
I love, nice dinners out, movies. I am stalked by a demon. And then just gloss over it. I am stalked by a demon.
Can travel with companion. We do come as a package deal.
Yeah. I will set up screaming in the middle of the night.
It's just funny because I know, if you were to actually ever go on a date with somebody who told you, so this thing has been following me around, you probably would actually believe it.
I would be like, oh. Really?
I would probably believe it too, to be honest, because I'm open to that type of stuff.
Does he want to fuck around?
Looking for a third. Demon, we saw you from across the bar. We did doing it fine. That means somebody approaches you in a bar. My demon next to me saw you from across the room.
Yeah, that I might question their sanity a little bit.
The demon that's following me around thought you were really attractive.
Well, can you give me his number?
Yeah, it's gonna be 666.
Nice.
That's too easy.
I did used to date someone that would wake up in the middle of the night screaming,
Oh, you mentioned this.
Yeah, thrashing and screaming, and then crying sometimes is very weird.
Terrifying. I mean, obviously that's got to be them having nightmares and shit.
Yeah,
but that's
I think I don't know.
Well, because you think what trauma happened?
Well, they had a lot of trauma.
We'll see.
so I think that might be what that was.
Yeah.
Plus,
it's one of those you care.
Yeah.
But it's still terrifying in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
plus they did drugs, so You know. The movie really escalates quickly too. I was it just kind of goes from nothing happening to just
there could have been more of a gradual build-up. I mean, the movie was only an hour and a half. I feel like if you were to actually made this movie
felt longer.
2 hours, 2.5 hours, it really does. 2 hours, 2.5. You could have had more of a gradual build-up.
Yeah.
You probably could have added a little more elements to it. Things like that. And obviously, you're working on a low budget.
Well, yeah.
So you are kind of just doing what you can. And I don't think they did terrible for the low budget and everything. If you want to do that,
that's true. No.
But yeah, I feel like you could have had more of a build-up. You could have had maybe even more of an explanation of her childhood and stuff.
Yeah.
The third movie is a prequel. It's actually them when they were kids.
Oh, okay.
So you do get that backstory.
When she was a kid, or both of them?
Oh, when she was a kid.
Oh, okay.
It's her.
I'm two separate
It's
stories.
her experiencing it with her sister.
Oh, okay.
And their parents in their old house.
Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting.
Because the second movie
is it still found
her
footage?
sister's family. Yeah.
Interesting.
But it takes place in the 80s, I think.
So is it all on a
VHS video camera? type of situation.
Okay. See, no one would have been recording all that in the 80s.
No.
Those tapes are expensive. Like, no one would have been doing that.
It's supposed to be, it's found footage. I mean, I remember a shot they do, too, where I think the dad takes a fan apart, and he straps the camera to a fan, and then he's got it on the swivel setting, so the camera's moving around like a security camera. Which was probably one of the cooler ideas they had.
Yeah,
but I was
actually,
it is the 80s.
I don't.
I can't remember if they had
here, but...
small DV tapes back then for cameras, but if they had the big VHS tapes, those were not cheap back then.
Well, they had the big VHS tapes, but they also had those ones that fit inside of a fake VHS tape.
Yeah.
My parents had one of those.
The little tape.
It's like a little tape, like almost like an answering machine message tape.
That goes inside of a big...
That's a very old thing, too. The answering machine message tapes, which are
the
like...
hell out of ourselves.
I know. They're like 2-inch little cassette tapes, but you could put it inside of...
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Cameras that took floppy disk. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
But yeah, the third one's a prequel. The second one, it's a sequel, but it also, the ending goes back and forth between the first and second, because that's like the chronological order. It's like, starts with 1, goes into 2, goes back to 1. Actually, the third one's first, then 1, then 2, then back to 1 is the ending, I think, is what it's supposed to do.
Interesting.
Or it's like 1, 2, back to 1, and then back to 2 for the actual ending. It's really weird. The chronological order for the first and second one are a little crazy.
Interesting.
But yeah, that one's actually her sister's family.
Yeah.
And what they're going through basically at the same time that Mika and Katie are dealing with their shit.
Do you know what they honestly could have done? And not that I'm saying that what they did was wrong, but
yes, you are. I'm just kidding.
Like the first one's found footage, but then like the next one that's like if it's like a prequel or something, just have it be a movie. You have the budget now.
Yeah, have it be an actual movie.
I'm
wondering how that would actually look, because that could be pretty cool.
To see like what happened in like that sort of third person thing.
God, unless it turns out like that, because the Blair Witch, they got a sequel to the Blair Witch.
Oh, really? I don't even know.
So yeah, so like there was the Blair Witch Project. So there was that newer Blair Witch movie that was still found footage that happened with Adam Wingard.
I'm not aware.
But there was a second Blair Witch movie called like The Book of Shadows. It was Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, and it was filmed like a normal movie. Oh. So it was very weird going back to Blair Witch and have it just be filmed like a normal movie. I only saw like the first 20 minutes of it. It was trash.
Fun.
But unless it turns out like that. But I feel like if you did a prequel to this, which you did, I feel like doing it as a normal movie though would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Because then you would have like, we're just filming, like, and then you have like the found footage of whatever happened to them later on.
Exactly.
I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of like, you know, it escalating like super fast and loud noises and stuff. Actual ghost evidence is like so subtle and. So like, because it's usually an EVP of like, you know, like, he said I love you.
It's like, boop. He said, "Where are you going?"
yeah. I have heard some of them that are pretty, you know, compelling, I suppose. Yeah. But especially, we always talk about Alex LeMay. I hope she's listening.
Alex, we're reaching out to you.
Reaching out to you.
Maybe one of your friends will hear this and tell you about it.
I know, right? I like her YouTube investigations because there are some EVPs. She gets good EVPs.
From what I
remember,
usually
quite. They're usually very pervy. Because like she's beautiful, you know, so it's like she gets ghosts that are like men that are like really fucking pervy.
Just love that she gets the pervy ones, and Roz Hernandez gets the slurs.
Gets called fag. I love it. Oh my god, my favorite thing in one of the Roz Hernandez ones is when she's walking around with the EMF reader. And she's like, "Oh my god, it's going crazy here." And then like she finally looks up, and like it's the fucking internet router.
It's the fucking internet router.
This is so funny.
That's so good.
I wrote this little note that says they sleep with one light sheet on. How How?
What is that?
I don't know.
bed?
I don't know how people sleep like that.
I don't understand the bed
The bed
situation because
Yeah.
it looked like almost satin sheet situation, but just like one
little light sheet on top
light
of them.
sheet,
Just
one
so that they could.
loose sheet.
I don't know if that was all that was available or if they used it so that it could be like you could see the movement in it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
Well, by the time they end the movie, it's like day 21. I was like, you guys didn't unpack anymore?
Yeah.
If you guys just moved in,
Wow.
like you don't have a comforter that you
Yeah.
unpacked at some point.
I mean, I'm okay with no continuity and things. As I've said, The Golden Girls is like my favorite television show, and the continuity is non-existent in that show. Rose's boyfriend, Niles, he is in the first episode, I think, one of the first episodes, as a different character. And then later he comes back as Niles. And then you find out that Niles is in the witness protection program, and he has to flee, like, the country or something. Or no, flee, like, he has to go somewhere.
Oh my god.
He has to hide again, and he doesn't tell anyone where he is. But the episode right after that, Rose says, "Oh, Niles is in wherever with his students on a field trip," and you're like, "What?" There's zero continuity in that
Zero
show,
continuity.
and I love that. But anyway, sometimes they have a coffee table, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they have a rug, sometimes they don't.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the Ouija board. He finally bought a Ouija board, even though he said he wouldn't. He promised.
Yeah, I kept promising he wouldn't, but then he kept bringing it up too. and
He's
it's
being
like,
such a dick about that.
I was just like,
She's like straight up saying like, "Do not do that.
Like, just don't do it."
Anything else, but do not do
I was
that."
like, she said don't do it.
Yeah.
The psychic said don't do it.
Yeah.
Her friend said don't do it.
Yeah.
And yet, let me buy what looks like the creepiest Ouija board
was the creepiest Ouija
I've
board
seen,
I've ever
and the most
seen.
demonic looking.
It's got like an upside down pentagram on it.
Yeah, where even ones from
Like,
like
what are
the
you
30s
doing?
don't look that creepy.
No,
Or demonic.
no.
Like,
Most of them are from Parker Brothers, so
It's right.
I mean, well, they invented it really. So
Yeah.
for me, a Ouija board is just crock of shit. But anyway, that's for me. It's a game. It was made by a game company.
I mean, it's made by a game company. My mom always told me to just like never mess with it because even made by a game company, it's one of those like you're opening a door that somebody can communicate with you.
You could do that by just talking too.
You literally can do that by just talking. I think.
Yeah.
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 I still want to do one, to be honest.
Eh.
Like just to try it out once in my life.
Yeah. Well, the
Find my own Captain Howdy.
Yeah, I know, right? I hate that guy's smirk too. Like,
Oh my god, I want to hit him in the face.
he was fucking smirking while she was talking about the Ouija board too
I know.
at the computer, and I was just like, I want to like slap him. Ugh.
He's acting like she's being ridiculous, and it's
I mean, I
like
kind of want him to slap me too,
Yeah.
but
spit on me a little bit.
yeah, spit in my
Like-
mouth, whatever he wants to do. It's fine. It's fine.
But like, regardless of whether or not you think she's being ridiculous, she just asked you nicely not to do something.
Yeah.
So just don't do it.
Yeah,
Just don't be an ass about it.
yeah. He sets that Ouija board down. They walk away from it.
They
And then
leave.
it
I think they
starts-
go out
yeah,
somewhere, and
it's-
then it
it
moves by
starts,
itself.
Like, moving by itself, catches on fire spontaneously.
Yeah. Which I thought you were supposed to get rid of a Ouija board by setting it on fire.
Oh, yeah, I think that's correct.
You're supposed to say goodbye,
Yeah.
and then you're supposed to, if you want to get rid of it completely, you're supposed to burn it. I don't know.
That makes sense.
Maybe I'm crazy on that.
Yeah.
But also, can we stop making hunting down a ghost being about being a man and your masculine anger?
That's like truly. This is where I really started going off of my notes about like male fragility. You know.
And straight white male confidence.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if the Ouija board like said like "Hey girl, hey," or that's what he like because the Ouija board had like something scratched into it.
Yeah.
Just
Hey
says,
girl,
"Hey
hey.
girl, hey." There's back rolls, you know, something like that.
But also, like, after she, I don't know, she's holding something super tight and her hand starts bleeding because she's like not letting
yeah,
it go.
yeah, yeah.
And then he's just like doing that, like, ah! He's like, I'm sick of this. I'm taking care of this right now.
Yeah.
And then he burns a cross.
Like, what is he gonna do?
He threw a cross in the fire. You noticed that, right?
Yeah.
I was like, why are you burning a
Like,
crucifix?
that doesn't make sense. But
I thought, like,
okay.
when I first saw this movie a long time ago, it's like, you're going to burn the Ouija board? Because you should burn the Ouija
That's
board
what
if you're going to burn
made
something.
a little more sense. I didn't quite understand that at all.
I don't understand burning the cross, though. It's like...
I did like when she was like, well, he was like, I'm gonna do something. Don't call the exorcist or I'm gonna do something. And then she's like, what are you gonna do?
You're not in control.
She's like, what are you
She's
gonna
like, you
do?
are powerless. And he's like, I don't think she's like, she's like, literally like, get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
It's like, quit trying to act like a quote unquote man.
Yeah.
That you know what's going on. You don't.
No.
It's like, neither does she. She's not saying she knows everything either. That's why you call the person who knows something
Who
about
knows
it.
something.
You don't try to think like just because you're a man you can immediately fix something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
I do like she was like sitting on the couch at some point. It just opens with her sitting on the couch. She has this look, this like, fuck you.
She was just
fuck
done.
you and everything you stand for. Get out of my face.
And like in Ghost Investigate, like this, she brings up a good point because then he wants to do the whole. At some point, he wants to do that whole powder thing, so you can get the footprints in the powder, which is like it's not a bad tactic for a ghost hunt type of situation, but it's like you already know something's in the house.
Well, yeah, and then you see like little like weird three-toed like things,
Yeah,
you know.
So it's like obviously it's supposed to be like
point,
a demon.
I'd be out of there at that point. I mean, come on,
just leave the house.
like just go.
I know they're like it'll follow you. I'm like it's not gonna follow me right now down the street.
No.
I feel way better out in the open with a bunch of people around me. Like,
you know, yeah.
Like, it's gonna take a little bit to get to me when I'm surrounded by people in public. Can we just, like...
Yeah, exactly. Because it seems, you know, these type of things where something follows people, it takes a while to, like, actually start happening when they move to a new place, you know?
Well, and the demonologist guy they were calling over, I think they said he lives in Los Angeles. Who cares if he's not at his office? Drive to his office. Wait for him.
Yeah.
Who cares? He's going to be back in a few days.
Exactly.
Camp out in your car for a few days.
So
Don't
weird.
stay in the house.
So weird.
Make it seem like you're coming back so the demon doesn't follow you and just go out there for a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, the demon breaks the picture of them. It's like the only like actual thing that looks like it might be theirs in the house. It's like a framed picture of them.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like he punched it or something like right above his face, you know. Which I understand.
And scratched it.
I understand demon. I don't like him either. You know, I get it.
Really what the demon's trying to do is protect her from him.
Yeah, maybe.
That's really what's going on.
Maybe.
Like, listen, bitch, this guy does not care about you.
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm evil and he's doing all this shit still.
Yeah.
Like, just come with me.
Yeah, he's like...
I'd be better for you.
He's dropping all these subtle hints. And then finally he's like, but you're just not listening to me. I gotta drag you out of bed.
And bite your ass.
Down the hallway. Like, hey.
It's like, I'm dropping subtle hints that he's terrible. And then the demon's like, so he's terrible.
It's just a super gay demon. He's like, honey,
please.
This man is not good for you.
It's like, you don't get away from him. I'm going to bite your ass. I will literally bite you. I will take over your body and kill him. Because I can't handle this anymore.
Yeah. I liked the, when they call back the psychic because they can't get a hold of the demonologist. And he walks in, he's like, yep, gotta go. It was great.
He's like, I cannot be here.
He's like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm not doing this. Bye.
It reminded me of Amityville Horror whenever her sister comes by and she's a nun and she's like, I cannot be in this house. She's like, this house hates me. I can't be here.
Goodbye. That's a good tactic, you know, to play with your family if you don't like them, I guess, you know.
You know, the second you walk in, you're like, oh, whoa.
There's a presence in this house.
It's not happy that I'm here. I cannot stay here any longer.
Yeah, I'm only going to make it angry.
As you point at your mother. There's a presence in this house.
I'm going to make it angry.
I'm going to make it angry. So I should probably go.
I'm going to start talking about Kamala. I'm going to make it angry.
Oh my god.
There was like, do you hear like in many parts of it there's like 3 knocks?
Yeah.
Because of that whole
Holy
thing,
Trinity thing.
Yeah. Which
Conjuring brings that up like crazy.
They bring it a lot, yeah.
It's always the 3 knocks to insult the Trinity if it's a demon.
Yeah. Well, I mean that could insult any pagan religion with trinities too, because most of them have that. Most of them have trinities. Yeah. So.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
From like neo-paganism, there's Maiden Mother Crone.
Yes.
Hecate has 3 faces. It's
like,
There's like a wolf.
What's up with threes?
Snake into some. I don't know. Three's always been the sacred number in most cultures for some reason.
Because you would think like it's an odd number that'd be unlucky or some shit.
You would think. I think maybe because it's balanced because there's two and then there's the one in between.
One in the center. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because one side is the father, one side is the son, in the middle is the spirit of the.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. We're
Cerberus has 3 heads.
We're gonna have to dive into some cultural anthropology after this.
On our next episode.
Yeah.
We go on an archaeological tangent.
Where we find the remains of Vlad the Impaler.
Where we firsthand live the plot of The Mummy.
Oh my god. Where the mummy returns.
The Mummy returns. I go back to my childhood questioning my bisexuality. Just kidding.
Which is the one that has the Mummy Returns has who in it? Who is the... There's a woman in one of them that plays like a queen or something. Is that? Or am I thinking of the Queen of the Damned? I don't know what I'm thinking.
Queen of the Damned is like Anne Rice vampires. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Jesus.
The Mummy had Anaxudamun.
Next time we're gonna contact the spirit of Aaliyah. Okay.
But as her Queen of the Damned character.
Only if she comes as her Queen of the Damned.
Only if she dresses like that.
Yes.
So I do know. So like the one ending we get of this movie is like her walking down the stairs, which of course is a trap to get Mika out of the room so she can kill him.
Yeah.
Thrown at the camera. He gets thrown at the camera, and then she like is down on all fours like a demon sniffing him, and then she looks at the camera and her face changes and comes at the camera. Blah 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 blah. Cliche, found footage, whatever.
Might I just say I hate that ending. It's terrible. But anyway,
like it fits whenever you want sequels, but it just wasn't a good ending.
It was not a good ending.
So there are 2 different endings. There are 2 other endings.
Yeah.
Which you can actually find on YouTube, I think. I've seen the other 2 endings.
Oh, okay.
So we have this one, and then we have one where she kills Mika downstairs, comes back up, sits by the bed, and she's just there for days. And I think her friend calls the police. Oh, I think either her friend calls the police or her friend actually comes to the house, sees the body, sees her upstairs, and then calls the police and has the police come. But she has the knife in her hand still. And then when she starts walking at the police, you actually hear her say, like, Mika, because she's snapping out of it, and then she gets shot.
Oh.
So she's like not possessed anymore. The demon left her just so she can get shot and killed.
That's an okay ending too.
And then the other one, which I think the police one was the original one, and then the other ending they played with was doing Mika dying, her coming upstairs, and then she takes the knife and slits her own throat and kills herself.
That would be good too. That'd be better. Yeah. Both of those are preferable.
I know they did this one, but what was funny about this one is they actually were approached by Steven Spielberg, who told them, you should change the ending.
So it's his fault?
Yeah.
Wow. See, I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, apparently he got a screener of it at his house, and he got really spooked by it when he first got it, and he like couldn't finish it, and like had to like rewatch it. But then after he watched it, he convinced them to change the ending because he didn't like the ending.
Wow. So he made it really shitty.
Seriously, I think the cop ending is even better.
I think he wanted to like make it like Hollywood or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Well, and then like doing it that way, you can set it up for sequels because then it's like, oh, her whereabouts are still unknown.
Okay, so it's marketable.
Which of course is that cliche ending of like,
it was
Mika's body was found, and however many days later, and then she's never been found. It's unknown.
Yeah, that was not a good ending. Here's my pitch, and I already told it to you.
Yes.
But so, oh my god, that was very loud.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. So she goes downstairs. There's that like horrible screaming, and then he goes downstairs, and then the screaming stops, and it was quite obvious that someone died.
Yeah.
I think, and then the demon comes up the stairs.
You hear the footsteps, which is already creepy in itself.
Yeah. And then the door shuts, and that's it.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better. It's like, it's enigmatic. You don't really know what happened, but yet you do.
And I don't even think it should slam shut. I think it should just slowly close itself.
Yeah, that would be great too.
You just hear it, because when she gets to the top of the stairs, you still can't see her in the dark.
No.
So that's why it's creepy, because it's like you don't know if it's actually her, if it's something else.
Exactly.
So if the door just slowly shuts,
so
and
much
that's it.
scarier, so much better.
It leaves it open-ended still. You can still do stuff with that.
Exactly.
It's not as
I don't think that
cheesy
ending
as a
would have
face
been...
changing.
I know, stupid. Maybe that ending wouldn't be satisfying enough for dumb people. I don't know. Oh,
I think it'd be perfect because it also,
just like Philomena Kunk, like, we have to make an ending for the fuck-witted people.
it's not wrong. Like, I don't know. He gave the money to change the ending, or told him to change the ending, and I'm like, those two endings were better though than this one.
Yeah,
because the face change is so cliche, so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the cops come in and the demon realizes what's happening, and she's like, it leaves her body and leaves her to basically just get shot and die.
Because that's even more malicious to do that.
But you just can't set up a sequel with that. That's why I think yours is good, because you can still have the sequel thing you wanted while actually having a creepy ending that it's doing that thing where it's like making you feel that anticipation and suspense without ever releasing it with a jump scare.
Yeah.
It just stays there.
Yep.
Because even the door closing, it's like something could still happen.
Yeah, and then it doesn't.
And then it doesn't. And it like...
Because it should linger on the door for a while, too.
Yeah.
So you think something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. And
great.
it leaves you with that just dread feeling instead of like... Because jump scares can be good, but when you can make somebody feel that way and then you don't give them the release of just having something big happen and then it's like, oh, crazy, oh my God. It's just like, you're now stuck in that. Yeah. And I think that's even better because it just makes people actually feel what's going on.
Yeah. Well... I was thinking, watching this, can you go somewhere where, is there like an exorcism.com or something where you can like learn how to do it if you need it? You know?
It's actually exorcism.edu.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's like little online classes or something.
edu.gov.co.uk.
Because that's something you could have done.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, here's what I could do. I could go back to school for exorcism.
Well, and they barely mentioned it in the movie that, like, one of the names on the board was Diane. And when he looked it up, he found, like, a whole website of where she was, like, possessed by something and got killed and whatever. And it's like, do you want to get more into that?
Yeah, there's a lot of little crumbs that go nowhere.
50s.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of like, okay.
And, it kind of gets explained more, obviously, in the third one with the prequel and a little more with the second one.
I shouldn't have to wait that long.
No, you should. It's my activity, and I need it now.
Yeah. Why did you just grab a candle? He just grabbed a scented candle and started. I thought you were
It smelled really good.
Oh, okay. I thought you really thought it might be your drink, and you were going to pick it up and try to drink it or something.
I take my wax neat.
Yeah. This is not my favorite movie. There were moments, I suppose, and it had some potential, I guess.
You were right, by the way. It was actually filmed in the director's house.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And apparently the actors at the time for the performances were only paid $500 each. But then when the success of the movie hit, they renegotiated.
Well, yeah, I should hope so.
I mean, you have a $15,000 budget. You make almost $200 million. It's like, you're going to have to pay them more than that.
Well, yeah.
That's a little ridiculous. Insane. Especially because you had, like, no crew.
Yeah.
Minus maybe the editor.
I'm kind of wondering how they even spent $15,000. Honestly, I feel like this is something that I feel like I feel like the stuff that we filmed for like Idiot Box had more involved than.
Oh yeah, and we did it for like no budget
with nothing, with zero budget.
And this was filmed in 10 days. Only took them 10 days to film it.
Well, maybe that's why it. Maybe that's where the money went.
Probably.
I don't know. I
mean, you got to pay people for being there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're making an independent movie that basically only looks like a student filming, or hiring actors who probably are not well known or whatever, and you're just like, hey, we just want to shoot this like really quick movie, $500, like
exactly.
But it's like, obviously, if you're gonna have success, I'm pretty sure they didn't get mad at them for renegotiating after the success.
I should hope not.
I would hope not, at least.
Yeah.
If I was the filmmaker and it made that much money, I'd just be like, hey, do you guys want to come back in? I want to pay you more because I don't think it's fair that I keep all this when you guys were like acting in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like a terrible found footage movie. It's just really cliche. This was one of the...
Yeah.
I know they used to do it maybe in the 50s and stuff, but this was one of the first movies they started doing that thing again where they film the audience's reaction to the trailer.
Yeah.
Or like filming audience reactions to a screening of the movie.
Yeah.
As in the trailer.
Yeah.
With like the night vision in the theater and all that. And they did that for a while. Every single time they would release one of these movies, they would keep doing that, and then they just kind of stopped doing it again.
Yeah.
I think they've done it for a couple of movies now, even ones that aren't found footage, but they just don't really do it that much anymore. Mainly for horror. I mean,
yeah.
Can you imagine? We're filming audience reactions for The Notebook. And it's just people crying the right then in the theater.
I love it. So, I mean, if I have to put a rating on this one, let me think. I'm trying to think of like what I would, what rating system I'm going to use this time.
I'm going to say
a difficult one.
2.5 three-toed feet.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking. 2.5?
2.5.
2.5 three-toed
feet.
Okay, I thought you meant like 2.5 to 3. Like, okay.
2.5 three-toed feet.
Yeah.
For the footprints in the powder.
Yeah.
In the powder.
I'm gonna give it 2.5 fuck-witted boyfriends. I don't know.
That last one's a short king.
Yeah. 2.5 for sure.
Speaking of the powder again, though, I just love her reactions and stuff to this movie. When she's like, "Does this look good?" She's like, "Yeah, it definitely looks like there's powder on our floor."
That is funny. Yeah, it looks like you put powder all over our floor.
She's like, "You're cleaning it up tomorrow." Like, she did at least have some more good one-liner.
Oh yeah, for sure. But this wasn't a comedy.
No, it was not.
By the way, we did watch Dracula Dead and loving it before we watched this.
We did.
Legend had not seen it.
I had not seen it. That movie was ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Leslie Nielsen as Dracula. Steven Weber as Harkin, or I can't remember his name.
Jonathan
Harkness,
or
Harkness,
yeah, Harkness something. And I think it's a great movie. See, now that
was funny though.
That I give 4 stars
that's
too.
Like, that's like classic Mel Brooks comedy.
I think it's one of the Mel Brooks's better movies too, because he has some that are just plain stupid. But
he does. I mean, the ones everybody goes back to are like Young Frankenstein.
Oh God,
Spaceballs.
Young
Blazing
Frankenstein.
Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is a great movie.
Blazing Saddles is always a Tuesday night classic at Hargan's.
Such a good movie, and I would say Young Frankenstein.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite
probably,
one.
Yeah. Plus, Madeline Kahn is ridiculous forever.
Yeah, she's so awesome. Roll in the hay.
Cloris Leachman in that movie is ridiculous.
She's so good. That gets 5 stars. Young Frankenstein gets 5 stars.
Young Frankenstein's 5 stars.
Yeah.
This one 2.5.
2.5. It was unsatisfying.
With Dracula Dead and Loving It, I just feel like I've either watched or seen so many different variations of Dracula at this point that I'm just gonna like lose my mind.
right. So anyway, that's the episode, I guess. And we're going to leave you with this episode as unsatisfied as I was with this movie.
I mean, I've seen this movie multiple times, but this is the first time I've seen it in probably about 5 or 6 years.
Really?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I know you hadn't seen it.
I had not seen it before.
And like when it first came out, it was like it's a big phenomenon because it was kind of like found footage movies are back.
That's true.
And I've definitely seen way better ones after this movie. And I'm not talking about the sequels to this movie. I'm talking about other found footage movies like the one I always mention that we can do at some point, that As Above, So Below. I liked that one. I thought that one was really good. It's still cheesy.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I'm interested.
And I still feel like it's like if you turn Tomb Raider into a found footage horror movie. But
that does sound good. That sounds interesting.
But yeah, this one, I don't know. I get the novelty of when it first came out and the jump scares and the fun when you're watching it in a theater filled with people and their reactions and everything. Like, that stuff's fun.
Yeah, totally. I can imagine the extraordinarily loud things in there. Were
or
loud.
like when when it comes out and you're like watching it at home with a bunch of friends in the dark and it's like, oh, this is fun. It's creepy. It's a fun movie.
It is.
It's just not that well made.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie. But yeah, I mean, This was our take on it. I mean, let us know how you feel about it. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen it by this point. Also, please leave comments. Please like and subscribe. Tell us about your paranormal experiences. I know we've talked about a couple of ours in past episodes, but we kind of want to hear about yours. And maybe if you send us one, we'll read it out.
Yeah. You can write letters about what you like most about me.
And I know this is painting with a broad brush, but if you're cute, a phone number wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. I am okay with unsolicited nudes as well, so...
Just down in the comments on YouTube, we would like to keep our channel.
Yeah, don't put it on YouTube. I don't think you can put pictures
I don't
on
think
YouTube,
you're allowed to. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, leave us questions. I mean, if you want questions about movies, even if they're not horror movies, ones that we might like other than horror, or if you just want to know more about us in general, within reason, I mean, I'm an open book.
If you want to know less about us, let us know.
Oh, yeah, if you want us to shut the fuck up, let us know too.
If you just absolutely despise us, let us know.
Just know that you can hurt me all you want, but I'm still going to love you. And that nobody can hurt me more than me.
More than my demon.
More than my demon.
More than my demon. Farewell.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Go away.
Go away.
Go away.
The episode's over. Are you still here?
No.